So I took my mech calculation system and I applied it to vehicles. And I used the same exact thresholds for offensive and defensive battle value to try to categorize vehicles. And it came up with the following list. These vehicles are considered DPS. That is, a significant chunk of their battle value comes from their weapons and is not based on speed-based battle value, so i.e. its actual weapons. Now, the Karnov AC is the autocannon 20 variant of the Karnov. And there's the Hunter, the Hetzer, the Drillson, the Bulldog, the Manticore, the LRM and SRM carriers, both qualified, the Von Luckner, the Burke, the Rhino, the Partisan, the AC5 version of the Partisan, but not the AC2 version, the Shrek PPC carrier, the Demolisher, which I was surprised it did not qualify as a brawler, but instead is a DPS apparently, both the regular Ontos and the LRM variant of the Ontos, and the Behemoth. So what exactly did the computer with my mech thresholds decide were brawlers when the mech thresholds were applied to vehicles? Well, the Scorpion light tank, no surprise. The cooling truck is apparently a brawler. The Goblin, no surprise. The Pike, Rommel and Patton, no surprise. Zukov, Fury, the AC2 version of the Partisan, but not the AC5 version, and both the regular Sturmfeuer and the SRM Sturmfeuer. Now, these tanks, in particular the cooling truck, is kind of interesting. Now, as far as I can tell, flamers can still cause critical hits and destroy things, so the cooling truck is actually functioned as a combatant against some of the lighter mechs and also against some of the vehicles that had to come to point-blank range to engage it. So its cooling truck had a large amount of armor, so it actually functioned as a brawler. Even one-on-one, it would win some battles. Okay, so then what is a hunter, according to the computer, using mech thresholds for vehicles? Well, the Warriors, the Kestrel, the J. Edgar hover tank, the Harasser, as well as an LRM version of the Harasser, the Peregrine VTOL, the Karnov machine gun armed gunship, the Striker, the Saracen and Saladin, the Scimitar, the Pegasus, the Maxim transport, the Condor, and the Falcon. Apparently all of these have a significant speed compared to their battle value, or a significant chunk of their power comes from their speed, which I completely agree with, especially with the Warriors. So the scouts that were identified, at least by computer analysis of the offensive and defensive battle value and the speed factor, are, well, no surprise, but the Savannah Master, and also the Gabriel, the Ripper, and the Rotunda, which of course completely makes sense in that it is supposed to be a scout car after all. Now, the guards category doesn't necessarily make sense, but this is, again, just using the thresholds and analysis formulas that I came up with for mechs and applying it to vehicles. The computer decided that the command van and the MASH hospital unit, which has weapons on it, on a turret, the mobile HQ, the galleon, and the vedettes are guards. By the way, the command van is interesting because it has an LRM on a turret, and it's really fast, so it might be like the ultimate unkillable vehicle, assuming that it has free reign to drive and doesn't get stuck by rubble and hills and things. Because I think it actually can outspeed almost anything in the game, and it's got LRMs.